Friends, how are you doing? Welcome back to another edition of Fong's Weekly Mortgage Tips. And today we're going to talk about the refinance the refinance process, okay? And this is a request from a friend of mine who's a real estate agent, and she's been telling me that she's been getting a lot of questions just from clients, asking her if it's a good time to refinance and what costs are associated with it, okay? So we'll go ahead and jump right on into it to see when or who should be refinancing and who shouldn't be refinancing, okay? Because just because your friends or neighbors or whoever the case may be is refinancing doesn't mean you should refinance, right? It's not for everybody, okay? We'll break this down and it's up to you to determine if it makes sense for you to refinance or not, okay? So my rule of thumb is this: if you bought over 2 years ago, then it's a good time for you to refinance because your interest rate, chances are, is over 4%, okay? And then number two, if you're saving at least 1% on your interest rate, perfect time to refinance, okay? But refinance aren't free. They cost money. They cost a lot of money, okay? Just because you're not paying anything out of pocket and the lender is rolling this into your loan doesn't mean you're not going to pay for it. You're eventually going to pay for it, okay? So we're going to break it down. In this scenario, we're basing it off of a house that's at $200,000, okay? On average, closing costs are going to run between $6,500 to $7,500. But for this scenario, I put it for $6,800, and we're going to jump into the fees and costs and why it costs so much to refinance, okay? So that you're not freaking out when you get that loan estimate from your lender, okay? First off, lenders are going to charge what's called an underwriting fee or a processing fee. They can call it whatever they want, admin fee or whatever it is, but they're going to charge it, okay? It's going to run anywhere from $1,200 to $1,800. For this scenario, I put it in the middle at $1,500. Title, right? Where are you going to close, right? Where are you going to close your house? At $200,000, you're probably looking at around $1,800 just for title, okay? You have your appraisal, $500 to $700. Government fee, $500 to $700, right? Transfer taxes and everything else. Escrows, you have to pre-fill or refill your escrows again, okay? $1,500 because they're going to be collecting taxes up front again, insurance up front again, okay? And cost per rate, $1,000, right? Because you guys are out there, you're seeing all these ads on Facebook advertising 2.10 for interest rate. It's not free. They're probably going to charge you an arm and a leg for it, okay? Lots of those advertised interest rates are going to charge you 1 to 2% of your loan amount just to get to that interest rate. So be very leery of that. For this scenario, I put $1,000 to get you that rate that you're seeking, okay? In this day and age, there's really not a par rate where you're not paying for it. Your chances are, if you're refinancing, you're going to be paying for your interest rate, okay? So all of this together equals your closing cost of $6,800, okay? So it's expensive. So this is the question that you should be asking. Does it make sense for me to spend $6,800 to refinance my house just to save $150 a month? Okay, does it really make sense? So this is how you determine if it's going to make sense. So you spent $6,800 to refinance your house. You're only saving $150 a month, right? For you to recoup your closing cost of $6,800, it's going to take you about 4 years. 4 years until you recoup. 4 years at saving $150 until you recoup your initial investment of $6,800 to do your refi. So this is what you need to ask yourself. Am I going to stay in this house for longer than 4 years? Or am I going to stay in this house shorter than 4 years? Because if you're planning on selling within 3 to 4 years, by the time you sell, you're still going to be negative from the $6,800, right? Because you increased your loan amount by this amount, right? But if you're planning on staying longer than 4 years, then after that 4 years is up, you'd be saving $1,800 a month, right? By locking into that lower interest rate. So one thing to consider before you refinance is determining how long you plan on staying in the house, okay? Also, my rule of thumb, when you're not saving at least 1%, then you're not saving enough money per month. And what that does is it extends your return on investment. So on this scenario, we're saving 1%, we're saving $150 a month. It takes us 4 years. If we're not saving 1% and we're only saving $60 to $70 a month, it could take us 8 to 9 to 10 years to recoup that closing cost back. And that's not feasible anymore, right? So hopefully this video made sense. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave me a message below. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. Thank you.